Hey guys, I had thought of an idea what to do with the hedgehogs. I bought this stamp set and I hadn't used it yet and I couldn't wait to. And I was sitting on my couch in my family room and I thought, I want them to ride a bike. So there's lots of reverse stuff on this card, so I'm going to show you how I did all of it. The bikes are from the, let's see, the Flower and Tulips bundle. I'm sorry, the Tulip Fields bundle. The Windmill Fields dies, these right here. And see the little bike? That was like #1 reason why I got that one, because I love the bike. I got them sitting over here so you can see them actual size. See the bikes over here. This is all of them that come in that stamp and that die set. I haven't used any of the other ones yet, but I'm going to. But the bike is the one that I really wanted to use the most. So I did that with the hedgehogs. Okay, so take that off so I can remember. Oh, and there's all these cards sitting over here. I've done videos on all of them, so if you look at any of them and you want to see how I did it or whatever, there's other videos showing all those. But anyway, okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the hedgehog. And here is the stamp set, and here's the punch. Okay, so obviously he only faces one way. There's this cute little one that faces the other way, but I wanted them to be the same size on this card. And then you could see the trees or flower trees or whatever is also from that. And then the sentiment that I stamped up there, finding a friend is the best discovery of all. So we're gonna do some reverse stamping on all of this stuff, and we'll start off with hedgehog. Okay, so what I've got here, obviously my Stamparatus, and then this is just a piece of basic white cardstock. I'm gonna put it an inch down and an inch over. Let's see, oh my gosh, okay. All right. And then here's the hedgehog stamp. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stamp them all the way over here on the right. I do that because of the punch. You see how it's faced this way? So when you slide the paper in up through here, before I did it all the way over here, and then I have to cut the paper because that much paper can't fit all the way in there. So that's why I'm doing it this way. Okay, they love to stick to that. All right. So what color I'm using for him is the Early Espresso ink. I am coloring him with blends. Typically when you use blends to color, the ink you want to use is Memento because it's meant for these alcohol-based markers. This ink is not meant for those, but because he is small and there's not a whole lot of ink when you stamp it, I tried it and it worked okay. So sometimes you can do that, but anything that's big or whatever that has a lot of ink on it when you stamp it, and when you do the blends, they're gonna bleed. The ink's gonna bleed a little. So you don't wanna typically use that, but for this, it seemed okay. The way I stamp him, because everything about him is so small, his little nose, his little eye, his little smile, all of that, it's very small, so you don't want to smush that ink down on there. Just tap, tap, tap. Okay, so there's that. Okay, these just really like each other. Okay, so what we're gonna do, I already did one on that side. I'm gonna flip it over, and I'm gonna lay it like this after. Here's my silicone craft sheet that I use for reverse stamping. I'm gonna line it up the same way, 1 inch down, 1 inch over. Okay, I'm gonna clean off the ink that I just used for the other one. Okay, let that dry off a little bit. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and punch this one out while that's drying. Okay, so there's that one. Get my scissors. I'm gonna have to get another piece of paper here. I'll use this one right here. All right, so, okay, so we're gonna ink him up again, just lightly. And we're stamping him directly on this silicone craft sheet. Okay, you can kind of see him there. I do this a couple of times. That's one of the great things about this Stamparatus is that you can restamp. If you stamp an image and it didn't come out all the way or whatever, you can just stamp it up again. Because it, oh, there goes the dog. Okay. All right, I'm gonna pause this so I can tell her to be quiet. Okay. All right, so I did them a few times on there. So then I'm gonna take this piece of paper and I'm just gonna and then I'm gonna go ahead and stamp on top of this paper too, because it makes it, that's the way you can punch it easier. All right, let's see what he looks like. There you go. There's our reverse guy. So put this in. This is obviously facing the same direction as this one, but the other one will be on the other side, but it's easier to punch it this way, obviously. Ta-da! There's the other way. Okay, so here's your two hedgehogs. That's how you do that. Clean this off. Okay, so I'm gonna clean this up and put some stuff away, and then I'm gonna show you how I did the trees on each side. Okay, so now we're gonna do the trees here. I have a piece of basic white here. This is 4 by 5 1/4. Gonna line it up like I always do for stuff like this at 1 inch down, 1 inch over. Okay, so here's the tree stamp that we're gonna use. Now this one I colored with blends too, so I did use, for this one, I used the Memento. Okay, so I'm lining it up, and basically I want the leaves right here to fall off the paper, just about like right like that. Okay. Memento ink is sometimes if you're doing something and it's not, when you stamp it, it's not showing up very well. That's another great way to use the Stamparatus, is to just keep inking it up and stamping it, because sometimes it's like that. This time it was good, so I'm not worried about that. Okay, so that's one side. Now, for the other side, I'm gonna line this up again, 1 inch down, 1 inch over. Okay, and okay, I'm gonna do this a couple of times too. Okay. Now for this, obviously I want it over on this side. If I do it this way, it's going to be upside down. See, it would be this way up, where it should be on this side, it should be this way up. But on this side, it would be this way down. I know this is maybe like, you're like, what? But trust me. Okay, so I'm gonna flip it over just like this, okay? So then it's going to be up here. You're gonna line it up the exact same way it was before, 1 inch over, 1 inch down, okay? Really shaking my table, sorry. I'm just this is on the side that you're gonna glue down, you're not even gonna see. I just do it this way to get that pressure on the other side. There you go. There's our two trees. I guess they're trees. I don't know if they're plants or whatever. So that's how the reverse stamping was done on this card. Let me just clean this all off. All right. Okay, so we're done with the Stamparatus for now. Okay, so here we got the background, and I wanted to make since it's obviously outdoors, I wanted the sky to look blue. Since I've already stamped that, you're going to get some of the blue into those flowers and leaves, but once you color them in, you don't notice it, because I'm using balmy blue, and I'm going to do it really, really light. Okay. Making a funny noise. Uh-oh, got a little spot right there. Didn't brush it off enough. I pretty much went all the way down. I'm putting this on the bottom so you won't see it there. Now that I would, if I was doing a different kind of card or something, I would not like that. But because I'm going to have the hedgehog there, you're not even really going to see it. And you know, the sky does have different variations of color all the time. Okay. All right, so here's these boys or girls. What I used for that was crumb cake. I did the light down here. And on the feet. I hope you can see all this. Okay, and then for trying to get this. Okay, then for the top, I used the dark crumb cake. And again, you're going over ink that's really not what you want to use with the blends, but for this it worked out okay. And I mean, the hedgehog would look fine too if it was in black. I just wanted to do in all brown color. I usually go around the edges like this first. Okay. Okay, so that's how I colored them. All right, and then, oh, so for the trees, I used Crumb Cake Dark for the trunk. Made a little mistake on that. Okay, and then for the leaves, I did, I believe it was, this is green apple green. Okay, I did that for the leaves. For the little buds there, I used Flirty Flamingo, the dark one. There's a few of them on here. Okay, and then for the flowers, I used Daffodil Delight. And then for the little center part of the flower, I used bronze. Bronze comes with ivory. Just wanted it to have a little different color in the middle. So that's how I did all that. Okay, put this stuff aside. And then I'm going to show you how I did the bicycles. Okay, I had another one that I had already done over on the side of my table, and so I just decided to do the ink again because, where did I put the one I just did? Oh, here. I have a different kind of idea for this, so I just decided I would just do it again and then color it on in so you can see it. I wanted to point out the tree, obviously you could just stamp. I'm just going to show you the difference of what it looks like if you don't do the reverse stamping. Okay, so here, let's see, we do it on this side. Okay, and you wanted one on the other side. And you just did it this way, the normal way. You can see how, compared to this, these are like almost facing each other, where these are, I don't know. I mean, it would still look good if you did it like that on each side, but I wanted them to be a mirror image of each other. So that's why I did it that way. So I just want to show you that. Okay. I got a different idea for this card. I mean, without the hedgehogs, maybe just with the bikes. And that's why I got this one and put that off to the side. Okay, so for the bikes, let's see. All right, here's the die right here. Very, very obviously intricate on there. I mean, it's like, so here's one of the brushed silver papers, which I absolutely love. And I did I even have it over here? Well, anyway, I die cut it out of that first, and I really liked it. And then this is another reverse thing here, so that the bike would face the other way. I cut it out of the back of it, okay? But that didn't work very well. Let's see if I've got it. I could have sworn I put everything over here. Let me see. Oh, here it is. Okay, so here's the one I did at the beginning. Let's see if you can see it. Okay, so I was going to use that. And I was like, oh, I really like that, but I want the other one to face the other way. So I die cut it on the back of it. so then it would be facing the other way. Well, with that paper, it just didn't really work. I've done that with other things, like for the rainbows and stuff, but that's a big die. This, because it's so small and just all these little teeny tiny pieces, it just did not work. Okay, see, it started peeling off. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna try something different. All right. Here's our Versamark, and I'm gonna use this piece of paper here. And here is my silver embossing powder. Okay. See, hopefully maybe I can zoom in a little bit. That's too much. All right. I'm just taking my ink. I'm gonna get this all over my hands, and I'm pushing down my paper onto the Versamark. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it or not, but I'm just doing the whole thing. Look at that dog fur. You've heard her, now you see her fur. Okay, so you can do it that way too. All right, so all right, so now we got it on this paper. Let's see if I can get my heat gun out without crashing a bunch of stuff. All right. There it goes. I've said this before on other videos. The first time I ever saw this, it was before I was even with Stampin' Up. I had just started scrapbooking, and I went to this craft expo thing over in Orlando, Florida. I went with my sister, and I saw them doing this, and I was like, that is really one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And even now that I've been doing this for, well, I'm not even going to tell you how long, but I still think it's really cool. Okay. All right, so there's our silver paper. All right, let me get my die cut machine over here. All right, and I need another. Okay. Let's see, I'm going to zoom back out a little bit. Okay. All right, so first we're going to do the first bike, which is the one right there. That's the way the die is supposed to cut it out. And I've done it just once and it's fine, but sometimes with them, when they're like this, I do it twice. Okay, let's see if I can get this out without getting my, no, I'm gonna need my thing. Okay. There we go. We still got a few little pieces in here. But, okay, so that's how you do the first one. Now, the next one, since I want the bite to face the other way, I want it to face right instead of facing left. I'm going to turn this over. It's embossed. And I'm just going to put this on there. Now, what you want to do, because obviously, okay, here's like one of my plates. It's been used, you know, I don't know, 4,000 times. And so it's really scratched up. You don't want this to be all scratchy. So you want to get a plate, either one you've never used, or I keep this one. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if I can put something behind it. Here. Can you see that? You see the bikes on there and the rainbow, but it's mostly clear, okay? So I'm gonna put that down because I don't want, because what you're doing is, since you want it to be facing the other way, you're usually, when you die cut something, this part comes up, so it's not up against one of these scratchy plates, it's on the top. But this time it's going to be die cutting it down there on the bottom. Okay. And there it is. If you were just doing them, die cutting them out of regular cardstock, like one, you know, just one color or whatever, you wouldn't have to do it like this. You could just take the one that you just die cut, like this one. If it was like out of white paper or black paper or any of the colors, and you die cut it and you want it to face the other way, you just turn it over. It would be okay. But for this, it's the silver. So, and the silver doesn't go all the way through. Silver's always, the metallic paper is always white on the back and in the middle. So this is why I did it this way. Okay, is that everything? I think so. Okay, so there's my two bikes. One facing one way, one facing the other. I love that little bike. It's like I said, it's like one of my favorites. Okay, move that plate. All right, so for the clouds that you see on the card, that's from the rainbow dies. Let's see, got them sitting over here. I've used them a gazillion times. These are the cloud dies. They're little. We have a cloud punch. We have other cloud dies. I thought these were a good size for that. And what I did, what paper I used is the pearlescent paper. It's just so pretty. And I only used 3, but I'm going to die cut all of them because I'm going to show you how I'm going to make this card a little different. Still going to need this for one more thing. All right, so put these back. Here's our, I already have one extra cloud here too. So here's all my clouds, pretty shiny clouds. Okay, that paper is gorgeous. It's in the main catalog. There's also the like on this card, this is the mother of pearl that I did for these clouds. That's with the punch. It's really, I mean, oh my gosh, so many pretty papers. Okay, and then for the bottom, I wanted to make it look a little bit like grass, but not anything too fancy or whatever. So I used this die. This is from the Basic Borders die, and that's soft sea foam. Let me get that paper. We'll die cut that, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to make this card a little different. Okay. Here's the soft sea foam. I use this for one of my Christmas cards with the trees. And so I'm just gonna do, it's the same width as this. It's 5 1/4 using this. And then you just put it on there. You wanna line it up however you want it to look and how deep you want it to be, how tall. Do it, this is probably about the same. I knew I'd get that loud sound. The first time I ever used a machine like this, I thought I broke it, but it's supposed to do that. Okay, so there's our bottom, the grass. All right, I think I'm done with this. Okay. made that a little taller than the other one. Let's see. Goes up a little higher, but that's okay. Somebody just went by in a motorcycle. Okay, and so here's your bikes. And what I did was I put them pretty much right next to each other. Okay, and then the hedgehogs, I just had them stand up like that. Okay, and then I did the finding a friend and the best discovery of all, but I'm going to show you, I'm going to do a little something different on this one. You can see I put the sentiment up tall because with them there, you're losing a lot of that space there. So I did it up tall and up high. And all right, knew I was going to need my Stamparatus again. That is in here. So what I did was, that's what's so great. You used to be able to, you could put it on one of your blocks and then just line it up the way you want it and then stamp it. This is perfect because you can put your card in here and you can line it up where you want it. For this one, I did it, like I said, up high because the big hedgehogs were here. This one I'm gonna do a little different, and actually, you know what? Let me glue this down. Okay, and I'm gonna use the bikes on this one. I came up with this idea when I was making that card. I just I liked the bikes on their own. I mean, I love them with the hedgehogs, don't get me wrong, but I just thought they looked kind of cool just on their own. So that's what I'm gonna do in this one. I'm not gonna put hedgehogs on them. So I can do this sentiment down a little lower. Everything's sticking to me. All right, so I'm gonna do it right about there. And, all right, and we are doing that again with Versamark. I want to get a dryer sheet or something to put on there to make sure that the ink and the powder doesn't go everywhere. Just, okay. Okay, let's see. Oh, there we go. Well, that in and finding is not looking that great, but I think it'll be okay, okay? Sorry if you can't see this, but I mean, all right, so this is how I'm gonna make this one just a little different. You can see, and I'm sure if you are already a card maker, you start making a card, oh my gosh, you make a mess. This is all a little bunched up because of the heat that was on it, but it'll go away. Okay, so we're gonna put those down there. I just thought that looked really cute, you know, just bikes with nothing on them. All right, and then the clouds can be a little different on this one. I'll just sort of figure that all out and figure out how I want it to be. But, so there you go. It's almost exactly the same, except there's no hedgehogs. And that's why I lowered this. So that just goes to show you, you can change one little thing and make the card, you know, for a different reason or whatever. But anyway, so that's a lot of reverse. That was reverse stamping of the tree, reverse stamping of the hedgehog, reverse stamping of the hedgehog and then punching it out, and then reverse stamping of the tree just directly on the paper, and then reverse die cutting. So you could do that with other things too, where you want them to face a different way or whatever. And again, like I said, if you're doing it in one color, like basic white or black or old olive or any of the colors, then you don't really have to worry about that. You just flip it over so it faces the other way. But I wanted them to be silver, and so then silver is not silver all the way through, so it won't work that way. So that's why I flipped it over like that. So anyway, I hope you liked this and understand what I'm saying. I've been working on this card for a couple of days, and I just now got the house to myself so I could make the video. So if you have any questions, let me know. Have a great day.